Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Josh, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing how to improve your credit score directly from Experian, who just so happens to be one of the three major credit bureaus alongside TransUnion as well as Equifax. But before we go ahead and dive into the major ways that you can improve your credit score, if you would like to receive up to $18,000 in free stock in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Webull. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply deposit at least $100. At that point in time, Webull will be sending you 6 free stocks worth all the way up to $18,000. Okay, so before we dive into today's video, first off, of course, this should not be considered financial advice. And after all, this is actually directly from Experian's website, which, as I mentioned before, is one of the three major credit bureaus alongside Equifax and TransUnion. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the first way to improve your credit score in 2025, and that just so happens to be making on-time payments. So your debt payment history accounts for 35% of your FICO score, and this is the most important credit score factor. Payment history includes on-time, late, and missed payments, all of which are reported to one or more of the national consumer credit bureaus. Always making payments on time can go the furthest to helping you improve your credit. Now, as far as actions you can take on your side of things, if you're having trouble making payments on time, set up auto pay for at least the minimum due and create calendar reminders and alerts through your online account. So that's definitely one of the good things you can do, is setting up auto pay, or in your head at least, you could almost see your credit card the same as your debit card. So whenever you go to make a transaction with your credit card, once that transaction posts in your account, go in there and pay it off right away. Try to keep that balance as close to or at zero all the time. That way, even when you receive your statement, you actually don't even have any type of balance on there. That way you cannot be late with your payment. Now, as you can see up on the screen, the payment history on the bottom right-hand part of the screen is your payment history. As you can see, that is the most important one there, right at 35%. Now, as far as the second way to improve your credit score, that is to pay down revolving account balances. So how much you owe accounts for 30% of your FICO score and your credit utilization rate. The percentage of available credit you're using on revolving credit accounts, such as credit cards, is a major element. While some experts recommend keeping your utilization rate below 30%, there's no hard and fast rule. Aim to keep it as low as possible. Now, as far as actions on this go, first off, like I mentioned just a moment ago, you can sort of treat your credit cards like you would a debit card. So whenever you make a transaction, once again, it's going to first be in pending mode, and then 2 to 3 business days later, it's then going to post to your account. At that point in time, you can go in there and pay that transaction off right away. That way you don't end up having this large balance for not paying your card off, let's say like in 30 days. Or if you're not able to do that, just go in there maybe every week or every couple weeks and pay down a little bit at a time. That way, whenever you receive your statement hits, you don't have like a credit balance of say like $2,000. Instead, your credit balance may be like $500, which is also going to drastically reduce your credit utilization ratio. Now, on top of that, I would also say that if you keep your credit utilization ratio below 10% rather than just 30%, that's going to be going the furthest way to improving your credit score. Once again, this is not financial advice, just things that I personally noticed myself. Now, as you can see up on the screen, once again in the top right-hand corner, you will see the amounts owed. That is at 30%. So between payment history and amounts owed, those two total up to 65%, which obviously are the two most important thing as far as your FICO score goes. Now, the third way to improve your credit score in 2025 is to not close your oldest account. So as far as the credit impact goes, length of credit history makes up 15% of your FICO score and is heavily influenced by the age of your oldest account and the average age of all of your accounts. While loan accounts are typically closed once you pay off the debt, you can keep credit cards open indefinitely. Closing a credit card can hurt your credit score, especially if it's one of your oldest trade lines. And as far as actions you can take, even if you no longer use your oldest credit card, consider using using it every few months or putting a small recurring bill on the card to keep it active. If the card no longer serves your needs or charges an annual fee, check with your card issuer to see if you can upgrade or downgrade the card to one that might be a better fit for you. This may allow you to keep your credit history but switch to a card that works better for you. So once again, whatever your first card is, for me it was a Capital One Quicksilver. That is a card that I still have. It doesn't have an annual fee, and in fact I actually never use it. I might use it like once per year and they never shut it down, so it works for me. But in your case, if you had to pay like a $39 annual fee or something like that, once again, like they mentioned there, you can actually call into your credit card company and ask to downgrade or upgrade the card to something that might be a better fit for you. And in a lot of cases, they can actually downgrade the card to one that does not have an annual fee. That way you can keep it and not potentially see your credit score actually go down a little bit from having your oldest account being closed down. Now, once again, up on the screen, you will see your credit history there at 15%. At this point, we just have 2 left. So you will see the fourth way is to diversify the types of credit that you have. So credit mix accounts for 10% of your FICO score and involves managing different types of credit. For example, someone with 2 credit cards and an auto loan and a mortgage loan will have a stronger credit mix than someone with just 1 credit card. Note that your credit mix generally won't be a major factor in determining your eligibility for a loan or a credit card, but it can help take a good credit score to the next level. Then as far as actions you can take, your credit mix will likely improve naturally over time as you apply for different types of credit to meet your financial needs. If you're just starting to establish credit history, it can help to apply for a starter credit card and a credit builder loan once you get going. However, try to avoid taking on more debt than is necessary just for the sake of building credit. And as they sort of mentioned there, definitely it might be a good idea to start out with some type of starter credit card, maybe like a secured credit card, for instance, where you're actually using your funds to fund the credit card. And then after like 6 months, you can make this an unsecured card and you'll get those funds back. And as they also mentioned there, or maybe as they don't mention there, I wouldn't necessarily go out of your way to diversify your credit just for the sake of your credit score. Like, it really wouldn't make sense to go out there and get like a car loan just for the sake of improving your credit score. If you already have a car or something that's paid off, I wouldn't go out of your way to like buy a house if you're not in the situation to buy a house. I wouldn't put that unneeded stress on yourself. If you just focus on credit cards at first, making sure that your payment history is good, that you're paying it off on time and in full every single month, that your credit utilization ratio is low, and then take care of everything else. Maybe buy that house whenever you're comfortable, buy that car, finance the car within a reasonable rate once it looks good to you. Just don't go out of your way to diversify the credit. The things will come when they come. Then once again, up on the screen, you will see there the credit mix 10%, which is also going to be a whole lot less influential than the amounts owed or your payment history. And then finally, the fifth way to improve your credit score is to limit new credit applications. So virtually every time you apply for credit, the lender will run a hard inquiry on one or more of your credit reports. These inquiries and how long it's been since you've opened a new account make up 10% of your FICO score. Each hard inquiry will typically knock fewer than 5 points off your credit score, but multiple inquiries in a short period of time, especially when applying for credit cards, could have a compounding negative effect. Then as far as actions you can take, only apply for credit cards when you need it to avoid too many hard inquiries before you apply for a loan or a credit card. Check to see if the lender offers pre-qualification, which can give you an idea of your eligibility and potential terms with a soft credit check, which won't impact your credit score. So once again, do not go out of your way and just be absolutely crazy with applying for several credit cards over a short period of time. Try to find moderation, even if you're doing the whole churning thing where you're opening up a credit card, hitting the spend bonus, and then opening up another credit card. Try to be a little bit moderate with that whole process. I know it might sound tempting to go out and try to open up 2 or 3 credit cards every single month over the course of a year and get like 36 spend bonuses with credit cards, but over time you're going to start getting rejected by these credit card companies anyways once they see on your credit report that you've been applying for all of these different lines of credit anyways. So try to be reasonable, and once again, at the end of the day, the 2 most important things, as you can see up on the screen, is going to be your payment history and your credit utilization ratio. Those 2 combined are going to make up 65% So as long as you're paying your credit cards and your loans off time, on time and in full, and you're keeping your credit utilization ratio down below 30% or even 10% if you can, you're going to do pretty good, and you're going to see some pretty good increases in your credit score. But with that said, that's all we have for today's video. If you enjoyed it, I would definitely appreciate if you could give this video a like. If you have any other suggestions, make sure to leave those in the comment section below as well, and I will see you in the next video.